Energy is by far one of the most used commodities in any given household, and unfortunately, this year is expected to be the most expensive on record. Not only that, but according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, it's expected to go by a total of 5% by the year of 2022 alone. But don't lose hope, as we're going to show you 7 amazing frugal tips to help you save over 45.6% on your energy bills. We did some simple tests and showed that cutting back on these 7 energy spenders with 1 simple minute habits can help to reduce your ever-increasing energy bills so as to make life more affordable and enjoyable. Number 7, your washer and dryer. Washer and dryers are a staple in any household, and on average, take up about 13% of a household energy bill. As such, they are high energy eaters. Fortunately, there is an extremely easy frugal living tip to cut down on those expenses. Whenever we're using the washer, instead of washing your clothes with hot water, use the cool option instead. Another great method, especially with newer washers, is to make use of the economy cycle that is much more energy efficient. When it comes to the dryer, it's best to use the lowest heat option you can and make sure there's an economy cycle to use less energy. With these 2 1-minute habits, you can save up to 6.5%. Number 6, the electric oven. An electric oven is what most households in America use to cook their food, and they approximately take up 4% of an average energy bill. Unfortunately, electric ovens can become quite pricey, especially when they're overused unnecessarily. There are 2 extremely easy tricks which many frugal people use to cut electricity oven energy consumption by half. The first one is to cook bigger batches of food instead of cooking individual meals every night. The second is to cook multiple food in the same oven at the same time. For example, cook your dinner and dessert together. Both these quick 1-minute habits can save you 2% of your energy and even electric bill consumptions. Number 5, fridge and dishwasher. Refrigerators and dishwashers are 2 highly used appliances in any household. Both of these units take about 6% of an average energy bill, but it's extremely easy to reduce the energy consumption of these units. Fridges are meant to keep food at a cooler temperature so as to reduce spoiling, but your fridge may actually be colder than it needs to be. Most food is generally safe from bacterial growth at temperatures of 39.2 degrees Fahrenheit and below. So, simply turning your fridge's cooler setting up can help your fridge run less. And if you can't live without your dishwasher, then the simplest thing you can do is to save energy and make sure that you don't use hot water and keep the low energy cycle 1. Both of these 1-minute habits combined can help to reduce the expenses made from both you and your fridge and dishwasher by 3%. Number 4, your water heater. A water heater is one of the most used energy items in any household, and it shows by taking up 14% on average of a household's energy bill. There is no doubt that everybody needs warm water, especially in cooler months. However, it's likely that you're overusing it and thus increasing your energy bill. Fortunately, Frugality can teach us some simple ways to stop overusing water. Firstly, taking much shorter showers can help your hot water consumption drastically. Secondly, if you wash dishes by hand or even use the dishwasher, make sure that you either use cold water or turn off the tap anytime you don't need it. These easy 1-minute frugal living habits can save you about 7% of the energy your water heater consumes. Number 3, lighting. Lighting is arguably one of the most used and most important energy items in any given household, and it takes up for about 12% of an average household's energy bill. However, many people will use light even when they're not necessarily needing it, resulting in a much higher energy bill. There's a couple of quick tips that we've learned from frugal people which can help counter the energy consumption of lighting. The first is to get energy efficient bulbs. While you may not have to buy an extra $1 or $2 for a higher quality light, you'll be saving greater in the long run. Not only do they take up less energy, but they often last a lot longer too. The second is to turn off lights whenever you're not using them. This simple yet effective tip can help easily reduce your energy bills with very little effort. These 2 1-minute tips can help save you up to 9% on your light usage. Number 2, computers, TVs, DVD, and cable. While these everyday electronics do take up a small amount of energy on the total energy bill, it's just 4%, it's unbelievably easy for them to rack in energy expenses. The great news is that it's very easy to reduce these expenses with some simple frugal living tips. At this point, DVD and cable are outdated, and it's likely that they may be taking up energy without ever being used. The easiest way to stop wasting energy, though, is to simply unplug your DVD and get rid of your cable and use streaming services. Now, you might be using computers and TVs more if you cut off cable and DVDs. However, there are much easier ways to keep energy consumption low. Most computers will come with an energy-efficient battery state, which will allow you to keep your computer totally unplugged for longer, thus reducing energy consumption. For those who do still watch TV, during the times that you don't use it, make sure the TV is totally off and unplug it from the wall. Frugal people will know that energy is still being used whenever it seems that they are plugged in, even if they're off. These tips help to minimize electricity consumption with your electronics and can save you up to 2%. Lastly, number 1, cooling and heating. This is by far the most used energy consumer usage in the average American household by making up an astounding 47% of the energy bill. Though both hot and cold water, an incredible amount of energy is used by simply turning on your thermostat up a degree or down a degree, there is an incredibly simple 1-minute frugal living tip which can help to reduce the cost made by cooling and heating by a third. In most days that are warm, instead of changing the thermostat by a degree, just simply remove some layers of clothing or change into lighter fabric clothes. While in the winter, instead of turning the thermostat up by a degree, just put on a sweater and some socks to keep you warm instead. These simple 1-minute tricks can help save you up to 16.15% of the energy that is consumed by cooling and heating.